Hi Atena, thanks for watching. This is another story about how I got impressed and inspired and amazed by people that I met at Excellence this year. Obviously, Excellence being a perfume convention, there's so much to see, so much to smell. And I was lucky enough to be there on the very first day because I was there a little bit early, and really the first day is the best day to go because it's not as crowded, it's a little bit quieter. A lot of people that are in Europe and closer to Milan come to the convention over the weekend, so they might take a Thursday or a Friday off work and get there then. So that's towards the end of the convention, but the show actually starts on the Wednesday, or at least it did this year. It started on the Wednesday, and I was there bright and early Wednesday at 11 o'clock. And what I found was that a lot of the people that I spoke to at the booths from the different perfume brands were very energetic, were very inspired, and wanted to share their stories first thing on Wednesday morning. And one of those people was Remi from the brand Les Indemodables. I think I just happened to be at the right place and at the right time. He and his wife own a company where they source raw materials to be used in perfume. And after doing that, they started their own perfume brand called Les Indemodables. And they were inspired by the fact that there's all these perfume brands that are out there, perfume companies that are out there that are saying that they're using the best materials, but they never reveal their sources, and they're never able to tell you how much of the raw material is actually in their perfume. They actually can't tell you anything about the materials because they're so removed from it. But because Remi and Valerie have a company where they are sourcing the raw materials and they know where the raw materials are coming from, they're able to give you all that information and use those materials in their perfumes. So when they create an iris perfume, for example, they're able to tell you how much orris concrete is in that perfume, and the perfumes smell rich and indicative of that. So they were inspired, and they had at their booth all the raw materials that are part of their raw materials company. And then beside them, they also had the Les Indemodables perfumes. And like I said, I think I was just there at the right place and at the right time. And Remi was super energetic and bright and really interested in showing everybody, or having everybody smell, the raw materials that go into the perfumes that they have. And so he would take, patchouli and be like, here you go, smell this patchouli absolute. Now smell patchouli noisette, which is the perfume from Les Indemodables, or smell real ambergris tincture, and now smell the perfumes that have real ambergris in them from his company. And Remi and Valerie don't actually create the perfume, so Antoine Lie is the perfumer that they work with, and Antoine Lie was intentional in choosing to work with Remi and Valerie, and he said this in interviews, where he wanted to work with the people that were using the real raw materials, and there's an authenticity to these perfumes, and he really wanted to bring that to the table and share that with people. So the perfumes do smell really, like I said, rich. They smell like the raw materials that they contain, and they are still beautiful, wearable pieces of art. So I was really impressed by everything that I smelled there. I think having the ability to smell the raw material and then smell the perfume alongside of it was a really special experience for me, because I was able to identify that raw material in the perfume really easily. And, you know, Remi was right there to guide me. And he was so energetic and so passionate about his brand that it made me really excited to smell everything with him. So that was really fun for me. And after that experience, I really had the brand more on my radar. And so the latest addition to my perfume collection is Musc des Sables by Les Indemodables. And I love a musky perfume. I love iris in perfume, and Musc des Sables is a study of musk but also of iris. So this is a really powdery, musky perfume. Unlike a lot of iris perfumes where the iris can be lipsticky and makeup-y, this one doesn't read quite as makeup-y to me. Yes, it does smell powdery, but it's almost like a talcum powder. It's not really like a lipstick powder. I think that makes this perfume a little bit more unisex, doesn't make it quite as feminine. The iris can also sometimes have a rooty or carroty kind of feel. It can feel kind of earthy. This doesn't go in like a vegetal direction either, and I appreciate that. I actually think that that's my least favorite kind of iris. Of all the iris perfumes that I've tried, I never liked those ones. I really want a powdery, fluffy kind of iris, and this is a powdery, fluffy iris. The other note that I get really prominently in Musc des Sables is the ambergris. And the ambergris kind of comes across as salty and aquatic and very marine. But because it's paired with this iris, this is not really a blue perfume. It's not an aquatic perfume. You don't have to worry that you're going to smell like cool water or something like that. This is really a, I would say, predominantly an orris perfume that has some ambergris in the dry down. And I feel like this ambergris tincture that's used in here has kind of become a signature for Antoine Lie, because I smell something very similar in MX by Eris perfumes. And I got to smell a whole bunch of the Eris perfumes last year. Someone was really nice enough to send me a bunch of decants from their own collection. MX really stood out to me. It's kind of a spicy perfume with a woodiness to it, like a sandalwood, a creamy sandalwood. But there is something that reminds me of ambergris in MX, and I can smell that more strongly in Musc des Sables. Musc des Sables, the musk in here is from the ambergris. It's kind of a animalic musk, but it's also salty. Makes me think of like salty skin that's either been covered in like an ocean spray, drying in the sun, or it makes me think of like sweat, like sweaty skin, but not in a gross way. Like I don't smell something super animalic like Musc by Serge Lutens. That to me just smelled like halitosis, like bad breath, like sweaty bodies, and in a bad way, in a way that's like, you know, people that need to take a shower. I could not get on with that one. This one is not as body odor seeming. It doesn't go in that direction, but you do get this sense of like warm, salty skin in a way that's comforting and familiar, and paired with that powdery iris, it's really quite beguiling and really beautiful to smell. This is a very well done, interesting musk perfume, and I really enjoy it. I'm so glad I got to add it to my collection. I did buy a used partial bottle, and like I said, after experiencing the brand at Aix-en-Provence in Milan, it was on my radar, and I knew I wanted to add some bottles to my collection. So when I saw someone decluttering this, I kind of snapped it up because I knew that there would be something in it that was different, that was interesting, that was well done, and that I wanted to add to my collection, and so I did. And it is just a really pretty iris and ambergris perfume. Patchouli is a listed note in here. I think the patchouli gives it like a warmth. You don't get like too much of a hippy dippy kind of patchouli that people think of. If you think of Lush perfumes, they have a lot of patchouli in them. You're not getting a lot of that. You're not getting like a green herbal kind of patchouli. You're just getting a warmth of a hint of patchouli. Orange is also a listed note. I don't really get a lot of orange when I smell this, and I think that's okay. I really get a beautiful powder ambergris perfume. Think of a good day at the beach, on the ocean, and heading home at the end of it, and you're warm and you're cozy and you're wrapped up in a clean towel. That is what I get when I smell Musc de Sable. I adore this perfume. The other one that I really want to add to my collection is the amber one from this line. I think the amber in that also has ambergris in it, and I really love the ambergris that this brand is using. It's a touch animalic, but not too much, and it's just a little bit easier for me to wear. It's just paired with other things in a way that makes it really wearable. Like I said, I get the same kind of vibe from MX, but MX is more woody, more spicy, and it goes in that direction. And Musc de Sable is powdery and warmer and is in a more musky direction. So if you're looking for a musk perfume that still has some powder in it, this one is an excellent one to try, and the whole brand is really interesting because of their use of their own raw materials. So like I mentioned, the brand is really transparent about their materials, and they share not only where their materials are sourced from, but also how much of the actual ingredient that they're talking about is in their perfumes. And if you go on their website, they share that this perfume has 0.7% ambergris tincture in it and 0.7% Orris Absolute in it from France. And that is quite a hefty amount, and that's why you can smell so much orris and so much ambergris in this scent. It's not just lip service. They are able to tell you how much is in here, and I think that that is significant. I think that it's something that makes the brand worth supporting, and it's something that shows you why niche perfume is just a little bit more interesting and trying to do things a little bit differently than mainstream perfume. If you are a perfume lover, I think there's lots of interesting, well done perfume in this brand for everyone to smell, and it's nice to be able to get to a brand that is so closely connected with the raw materials. I think that's quite unusual. It's definitely unusual from anything that we see at the department store or the drugstore. So it's nice when you can have something that you know is sourced in a way where people are passionate about the ingredients and passionate about the perfume that they're making. One thing I forgot to mention is that this is an eau de parfum concentration. It does wear like an eau de parfum, I would say. It's quite concentrated, 2 sprays, and I can smell it for most of the day. I don't think it has a really great presence, but as a musk perfume, I don't think you necessarily want something with a lot of presence. A lot of times when we're wearing musky perfumes, we want them to smell close to our skin, and we want them to be, you know, like kind of like our skin but better. We want them to melt into our own smells, And I think Musc de Sable does that really well. Some of the reviews that I read about this perfume said that it wasn't long lasting and it was too faint, and if it was just a little bit stronger, people would like it a little bit more. I actually don't feel like it's too light at all. I don't think it's too faint. I think it's just right. It's definitely not a beast mode perfume, but if you're looking for something at beast mode, that is beast mode, you might not find anything in the whole line from Les Indemodables. I don't think that they make very shouty perfumes. I think that they are at the appropriate level and they use their indoor voice when they they announce themselves, let's say. So I think they're very refined, very chic. This is a French brand, and that French sensibility is present in their work. You've got a bit of quietness, but a presence. You've got something that's unique. Think of these perfumes as like the perfect red lipstick, the perfect suit, the perfect amount of your shirt showing outside of your suit jacket. That's kind of what you should think of these fragrances as. They're going to pair with your look. They're not going to make your whole look. They're not going to be statement pieces. They're going to accentuate. So that's Musc de Sable by Les Indemodables. If you have a favorite from this brand, I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know if you've smelled this before. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.